Hello. This is a new video. Although the ocean may as well be an alien planet beneath our feet, home to enigmatic creatures, ancient, unidentifiable artifacts, and unexplained phenomena that happen without our knowledge, occasionally a diver discovers something that can be quite frightening. If you are new to this channel, be sure to hit the notification and subscribe bell and prior to our commencement, as well as the video. If you encounter this object while diving in the ocean, it will probably give you a serious start. Art Diver Skull Park in Florida is a unique and innovative concept that combines art and marine conservation. This park is part of the first permanent underwater museum of art, which opened in June 2018. It's located in the Gulf of Mexico, off the coast of Grayton Beach State Park in South Walton, Florida. One of the sculptures is the Swore Skull, created by artist Vince Tatum. This skull sculpture submerged underwater as a spooky element for divers encountering it. During their dive, the presence of the skull underwater provides divers with a unique and immersive experience as they explore the intersection of art and the marine environment. Access to the area is free, and divers interested in exploring the park can reach the location by taking a dive. According to Greek legends, Heraklion was an ancient Egyptian city located near Enna Delta. About 1,500 years ago, it was the most important port of Egypt and was used for international trade. This city would have been a myth, until one day it was found at a depth of 10 meters near the Bay of Abukir in the Mediterranean Sea. According to researchers, the area was plagued by heavy flooding and earthquakes that eventually caused everything to sink into the ocean. In 2001, a number of divers led by Fran Godot found remains of a large historical temple and several statues. Moments later, sonar technology was used, and they found underwater ruins containing 64 ships, piles of gold jewelry, and numerous coins. They also found giant statues of an Egyptian king and queen, and even a statue thought to be Cleopatra's father. Furthermore, they found a stone with hieroglyphs which showed how they intended to raise taxes for the trade. They were doing the Atlas structure in the ocean off the coast of the Bahamas is an incredible underwater sculpture known as Ocean Atlas, created by artist Jason Dees Taylor. This monumental artwork is part of the Sir Nicholas Noodle Coral Reef Sculpture Garden. The Ocean Atlas sculpture depicts a female figure of Atlas inspired by the ancient Greek image of the Titan Atlas, holding up the sky. However, instead of holding up the sky, the sculpture depicts a young girl bearing the weight of the ocean's ceiling. It symbolizes the connection between humanity and the natural world, particularly the ocean. The sculpture stands impressively at around 18 feet or 5.5 meters tall and weighs over 60 tons. However, creating the sculpture underwater in parts and then assembling it was a complex task. The Ocean Atlas sculpture, along with other artworks in the sculpture garden, was created to divert divers away from the natural reefs. This gives the reefs much-needed time to recover and regenerate, preserving the marine underwater environment. Squids have elongated bodies, 8 arms, 2 tentacles, and are fast swimmers. Generally, they're not dangerous to humans, but they're strong enough if they have to defend themselves. There are several species of squid, of which the colossal squid is the largest known species of squid. There are century-old stories going around of fishermen who would have come across giant squids that they also called the kraken. The kraken are said to have grabbed men from their boats and taken them to the bottom of the ocean. Although it's unclear whether this story really happened, we know that there are giant squids. Luckily, these squids live at enormous depths, but in this video, a diver encounters a fairly large squid. I honestly don't know what I would find scarier. The enormous size of this squid, or that everything around them in the ocean is pitch black. It makes you think what other scary sea creatures can still hide in the deep oceans. Did you know that the bottom of the Baltic Sea is plagued by the presence of time bombs? About 300,000 tons of ammunition from World War II were dumped in the Baltic Sea, including chemical warfare agents. This ammunition was discarded without considering the potential hazards in the future in German waters alone. It's estimated that there's about 300,000 tons of ammunition, with a Kohlberg Hyde ammunition dumping site near K. Being an example in this area, approximately 35,000 tons of sea mines and torpedoes lie at the maximum depth of 39 feet or 12 meters, visible from the shore. However, this raises important questions about how people should deal with these contaminated sites. One option is to leave them as they are and accept the slow release of toxic substances. However, this approach carries the risk of the metal casings breaking or even exploding. Another option is to bury the ammunition, but this also comes with many risks. Welcome to the city of Bayer, also known as the sister city of Pompeii. Bay went down by the flames of the same volcanoes that struck Pompeii, only instead of being petrified and buried, Bai went down in the Bay of Naples from 100 BC to 500 AD by a function as the Las Vegas of the world. It was where Rome's powerful elite went. Among the visitors were Nero and Caesar, who built infamous vacation villas there, but then the city sank because of the same natural volcanic eruptions they used to build spa. Now divers can explore this forgotten city and see for themselves the ruins, with their still preserved statues. The Aquarius Reef Base is the world's only undersea research laboratory located off the coast of Key Largo, Florida. The lab provides a habitat for scientists to live and work underwater for extended periods, allowing them to conduct various scientific experiments, gather data, and gain deeper insights into marine ecosystems. The Aquarius Reef Base is a state-of-the-art facility consisting of a long cylindrical structure called the habitat. This underwater habitat is pressurized to match the ambient pressure of the surrounding ocean, allowing a scientist to be comfortable without the need for decompression. Researchers have the ability to study a wide range of marine topics, including coral reefs, marine life, oceanography, and climate change. The unique underwater location of the lab offers several advantages. It enables scientists to directly observe marine life and behavior without the constraints of diving gear or time limitations. Researchers can also study the effects of prolonged exposure to the underwater environment on human physiology and psychology. In 1985, a captain of a boat named Paul Hepler found something on his manometer that had never been discovered before. He found locomotives at the bottom of the ocean near Long Beach, New Jersey. In the United States, the locomotives were said to be from the year 1850 and were very rare because they were made only for a short period of time. As archaeologists went on to investigate, they discovered that the locomotives have been at the bottom of the ocean for about 160 years. Although they looked rusty, they were still in good condition. It's thought that they probably fell from the ship onto the water during a storm. However, this is just a theory because it's unclear how the locomotives were sunk. Historical data has never been able to explain this. The final plan was to take the two locomotives out of the water and place them in a transport museum. But as far as I could find, that hasn't happened yet. In Florida, alligators are common sight. In lakes, rivers, swamps, even some coastal areas, they are known for their large size and can reach lengths of up to 15 feet or 4.5 meters, although individuals longer than 4.5 meters are quite rare. The alligator in this video, however, is longer than 15 feet or 4.5 meters. Even if you encounter a baby alligator, keep in mind that they can become defensive if they feel threatened or if their territory is intruded upon. Alligators have powerful jaws and a strong bite force, allowing them to inflict serious damage. Or worse, note that alligators are more active during warmer months, so encounters might be more likely during those periods if you encounter an alligator underwater. It's generally best to move away from it slowly and calmly. Avoid sudden movements or splashing that could startle the alligator and never turn your back on it. It's important to remember that alligators are powerful swimmers, so simply swimming away might not be enough to escape them. It's not every day you find two underwater caves connected to each other containing ancient Mayan relics. A group of divers did just that, leading to the unveiling of the world's largest flooded cave. They discovered the Sockham, a 163 million or 263 kilometers cave system, combined with the Dos Ojos system of 52 million or 83 kilometers. System earlier, the oldest human skeleton in the New World was discovered there. More than that, this cave has incredible potential to shed light on some ancient Mayan civilizations and their customs. Now that these two systems have been combined, they actually hold the key to an ancient labyrinth which is 2,117 miles or 350 kilometers in length. Inside are the remains of the first settlers of the United States and M cultures. The underwater cave is far from fully explored, and divers say that there is much more to discover. Multiple World War II aircraft wrecks have been discovered on the floor of the Pacific Ocean after being lost for over 70 years, resting at a depth of 131 feet or 40 meters. More than 150 planes are surrounded by coral and marine life. Among the historic American aircraft found are Douglas, As-B Dauntless Die Bombers, and TBF-TBM Avengers. These aircraft were part of the strategy of the U.S. Armed Forces involved in the island-hopping campaign across the Pacific Ocean, bringing them within range of the Japanese mainland. The discovered aircraft were not crashed and were left due to wartime incidents. Instead, they were intentionally pushed into the sea, undamaged. After the war's end, remarkably, they've been well preserved with only a few broken tails and wings scattered on the sea. Floor diving to kayaks might seem cool, but encountering aircraft underwater feels eerie, as planes are usually associated with the sky. The next creature on this list with the name Fra, you definitely don't want to encounter in your nightmares. The fra is a parasite of about 2.5 centimeters long with gigantic eyes and razor-sharp claws. Prey has no chance to get away because this creature has a transparent body and is therefore difficult to see through the surrounding water. The creature would also have been the inspiration for the movie Alien. You can find them in any of the ocean, and what makes this creature so creepy is that they're looking for zooplankton, also called sus, a collection of organisms in the sea. The FRA uses its claws to get inside these organisms and then temporarily makes its home there. After that, he sails with the organism eating food and water until he finds his next prey. The creepy thing about these creatures is that you won't encounter them just like that because they're practically invisible. But under a microscope, they look incredibly creepy. Beneath the Baltic Sea, and beneath the English Channel lies an unparalleled insight into the lives of early human civilization during the Stone Age. In the Baltic Sea, Swedish divers discovered an ancient settlement estimated to be around 11,000 years old. Artifacts found at the site, including tools, harpoons, and the bones of ancient cattle suggest that it was once inhabited by Swedish nomads. The preservation of these remains is exceptional, offering a glimpse into the activities and lifestyle of people from Nordic regions during that period. Similarly, a Aryan in the English Channel has revealed the remains of a busy Stone Age settlement located near the Isle of Wight. This site, dating back approximately 8,000 years, provides evidence of human activity during a time when Europe and Britain were still connected by land. Excavations revealed 2 Hearst and burnt wood fragments with cut marks, indicating active human engagement at the location. This underwater Mesolithic settlement is considered unique in its kind in Britain and likely forms part of a larger area of habitation yet to be explored. Imagine stumbling upon what was once the most feared and terrifying weapon of the Swedish Navy. This is Mars, one of the Northern Europe's most fearsome ships, which was used in the Northern 7 Years' War and sank to the bottom. In 1564, its remains were found at the bottom of the Baltic Sea, near the Swedish island of Åland. In 2011, the diver who had found the ship discovered skeletal parts as well as guns and hand grenades. Every inch of the sunken ship shows that it didn't go down easily and provides a glimpse of an intense battle centuries ago. At the time it sank, there were about 1,000 men on board. Now the wreck lies so deep underwater that only professional divers and ROVs can film. Could you imagine stumbling upon such a legendary vessel? The delta P phenomenon in diving refers to the potential danger caused by pressure differences, specifically in underwater environments. This pressure difference occurs when 2 bodies of water with different pressures come together, creating a force as high-pressure water tries to flow into low-pressure water. This force can pose significant risks for divers, leading to accidents and even fatal incidents. A tragic incident related to the delta P phenomenon occurred in 2015 in Nova Scotia and involved a diver named Luke. Luke drowned while attempting an inspection at a Nova Scotia power facility. His death highlighted the hazards associated with delta P and prompted calls for improved safety measures and awareness within the diving community. The incident sparked discussions about the need for changes in diving practices and regulations to mitigate the risks of delta P. The focus was on ensuring proper training equipment and procedures to prevent similar accidents in the future. In May of 2015, a diver got the fright of his life when he was diving and suddenly came across 2 skeletons that had a tea party. He immediately decided to swim to the surface and called the authorities. They decided to take a look, and soon they found out that the skeletons were made of plastic. However, this was not the only time divers came across skeletons, because this seemed to be a bit of a trend. In another video, a number of divers came across skeletons that looked like pirates with pirate hats, a pirate flag, and other types of objects. When I saw this, it reminded me a bit of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Of course, these weren't real either, but if you see this while diving, you would be scared to death. Why people have put plastic skeletons on the bottom of the rivers is quite unclear. It's a small chance that divers will actually come across them, but it's probably just the intention to scare people. In the 1960s, a fascinating project took place on the French Riviera, involving the construction of an underwater miniature city. This unique project was intended as a film set for the movie The Child and the Mermaid. French filmmakers built an underwater city spanning 3,280 square feet, or 1,000 square meters, near a lighthouse called La Figou. The underwater city featured various structures including houses, buildings up to 3 feet or 1 meter high, a church, a town, an amphitheater, and even a law office. The ambitious plan was to film certain scenes of the movie in this real underwater environment. But ultimately, the filmmakers abandoned the project over time. The underwater miniature city was forgotten and neglected on the seafloor, exposed to the elements. It wasn't until 2007 that a local diving company initiated a restoration project to maintain the remaining structures they're working on, restoring the buildings, including the small ceramic tiles and bridges. Today, The underwater city serves as an intriguing dive site for enthusiastic divers and is primarily inhabited by schools of fish,